Connor and I were at a project meeting for Mount St. Joe's Academy. Connor was virtual and I was live. And so we had the architect team, the owner's rep, the contractor type situation. We had a whole variety of people and some other people besides Sister Charlene. Sister Charlene's the principal there. Or principal or president? Do you remember?
I think her email thing says president.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She may be president, but the buck stops with Sister Charlene on anything related to the school for Mount St. Joe's Academy. So as we were going on, she was wanting to know about time schedules and what's going on. It was clearly a stressful point. And so afterwards, I just went over and talked to her. And she had made a little bit of reference, a little bit of background. Besides it being a high school, it's also, I believe there's a convent there, if I'm not mistaken, and some of the religious order operates out of there. They may not be they may be teaching in the school, they may not be teaching in the school, but that's what has to answer to. So, start throwing it out. I'll check them off.
Parents, I'm sure.
Parents, good.
Teachers.
Yeah, I mean, all staff related.
Staff, very good for separating the two,
Yep.
because there's the admin staff and there are the teachers, and each of them has their different role. What else?
The nuns who live in the convent.
The convent residents, right? I'm
What
sorry.
about school board?
It's the her board, Mount St. Joe board.
Athletics.
So I didn't have that, but I could see how the athletics. This edition probably doesn't affect that, but that would be legit. Coaches and stuff like that, right?
Students.
Students, right? Done pretty well.
Or like parochial standards that they would have to follow.
So it's, I know where you're heading, so I'll give you credit for it. In this particular case, it's a school run by a religious order, so she has to answer to the religious order and get their approval, just like you would a school board per se, or the community. She has to go to her sister's board to get that expenditure, even if the project is financed by the Mount St. Joe's school itself, they still have to do that. Okay, there's just a couple more.
I mean the township, but I think that's more of us, right?
Correct. So that she would probably not have to answer, but that again, that could be added to the list if over time.
I mean, contractors.
Very good. That's right. We're getting close. We're getting close. What happens in the summertime at schools?
Those are the
Day
camps.
camps.
Yeah.
Camps, right? I didn't write that down. I thought about it earlier. But what happens in every school in the summertime? What goes on when the students are not there?
Any renovations, any sort of updates.
Right? Maintenance. The maintenance crew has to know what's going on because of their planned projects and what's going on. Who tends to come back from college to hang out?
Graduation.
The
grads.
alums, right?
Yeah.
They're curious. They're going to come back for whatever's going on. Maybe they're helping with camps. But alums are always, especially at a private school probably, but overall they're doing it.
Well, they could also be funding it too. So
And the last one is the reality, is it's sort of settled to it, but it is the finance committee.
Yeah.
So within the board, there's a finance committee, and that finance committee wants to know what's the status, what's going on. In this particular case, the president of the board was there, which I don't know. For all I know, that puts additional pressure on her that her person who she in essence answers to in some ways was there. So if I rattle them off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had 11, and you added 4 more. So that's 15 different entities that she could possibly have to answer to. And what she said to me is the challenge is when they ask me, it's not okay for me to say, let me go check to the engineer and find out, and I'll get back to you. In most cases, our clients are expected to have an answer to be enough on board with what's going on in order to answer it in the moment. And some of that's just for sheer credibility. Is Sister Charlene on top of everything? Does she really know what's going on? Why does she have to go when we just want to know the schedule? When are you starting, and what does it include? The thing to keep in mind is Sister Charlene is not into construction projects. You know what I mean? When she became a nun, that wasn't her highest priority, was that, hey, how do I get this connection done in the middle of the summer when the students aren't here, type of scenario. I bring this all up as a good project manager understands this list and is doing what he or she can to help our client with what's going on. That's why the weekly updates are huge. Over time, as I do these things and I meet with you, I'm liable to bring this up over and over and over again. Is really being sensitive to the pressures. Now, it's one thing when it's a person 3 tiers down who's on a project. You think, well, I feel for that pressure because that person's young or somewhat inexperienced or trying to rise up the ladder and they're trying to make a point, to be on the ball, and you want to make them look good because as they go up the ladder and you want to follow them in their career path. And you follow them by doing really well, or they leave to go somewhere else and they advocate for you. Because in worst case scenario, Sister Charlene say, "Yeah, I think I saw that in the weekly update. Give me a second, I'll pull it up and look at it, or I can get back to you because I know they're keeping me updated on where things stand." It's being really sensitive to your client's pressure. What was a reminder to me, even after all these years, is when I was meeting with Sister Charlene. Like, she's the boss. Like, she dominates that campus. When she's, the phrase, when she speaks, the people listen. And yet, here are all these people for which she needs to look credible to along the way. Now, some of them don't have, the students aren't going to influence her career path or whatever you want to say there. But she doesn't want to look bad to the students because the students go back to talk to the parents. The parents ask what's going on. I was talking to Sister Charlene, she had no clue what's going on. And what do the parents do? They jump on Facebook or they go down they're sitting around in the corner party and they're saying, Sister Charlene's clueless. And one of them happens to be the wealthiest donor to the school, and before you know it, type of deal. And while that sounds a little silly, it's not really. I can tell you from experience with Kathy as a teacher, like the distortion that happens in a very quick period of time of what's going on. And misunderstand. My simple message for today is always try to recognize what our clients' touch points are, what our pain points are, what their success points are. And it seems, like we're rushing all day long to try to get from one thing to the other. This isn't an easy thing to do, to be conscious of it. However, it's really, if we want to get those raving fan moments, then this is helping them, because Sister Charlene's liable to have a moment where somebody asked her and you had the answer because we kept her informed, and the next thing you know, she's smiling coming back, and she's liable, he or she or whatever. I use Sister Charlene as the example.